Hi, we're going to go over how to properly set your thermostat so you can pop kettle corn on your Cretors popcorn machine. This is a Diplomat machine here, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop these little caps off. The thermostat inside looks exactly like this, and this is your adjustment screw. I'll put this down. I'm going to pop the caps out. You're going to want to save these because you'll have to reinsert them once you're finished. So you're going to need a flat screwdriver, just a regular screwdriver. You're going to need a flashlight so you can see inside the kettle where the adjustment screw is. You're just going to hold the flashlight with one hand. You're going to insert the screwdriver through this hole and put the flashlight on the second one so you can see where the stem is. Alright, you're going to put your screwdriver inside the thermostat, and you're only going to give it about a quarter turn. Your thermostat now should be set for approximately 420 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to try to get somewhere around 390 degrees. So I'm going to insert it again, and I am going to turn it clockwise 1/4 of a turn. Okay? So I've done that. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to leave these little tabs out just in case we have to make some adjustments while we're popping. This is the best way to set your kettle. When the kettles leave here from the factory, we set them with a digital temperature control, and it's really accurate. But out in the field, obviously you're not going to have the equipment to do that. So this is the best way in the field to adjust your thermostat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my kettle heat. I'm going to let it reach the temperature. Once it reaches the temperature, I'm going to go through the procedure of popping the corn. And we'll start from there, and then if we have to make any more adjustments, we'll know by watching the pilot light. The indicator light is right here on top of the machine. On the newer machines that are leaving Cretors now, they'll be located on the dump column, so they'll be right here. But the machines prior to that are all located right here in this position, and this is the indicator light lets you know when the heat is on. This will be on for most of your popping cycle. About 10 to 20 seconds before you're ready to dump the kettle and the corn is finished popping, you won't hear any more corn popping, this light should go out. If it stays on, that means you may have to turn the temperature down a little bit further. So this is what we're going to keep an eye on when we start popping. One more thing that we want to cover is setting your oil pump. You're going to use a little bit less oil when you're popping the kettle corn, so we have to adjust the timer accordingly. You may have a 7700 pump, which is the pail pump, or a bag-in-a-box pump, which is our 7900 pump. They both have timers in there like this. The first thing you want to do is you want to put all the switches, press them all to the open position. They'll say open on there. And then you can see this little orange tag has seconds on there. 1, 2, 4, 8. It keeps doubling. All we want to do is push the 8 seconds over to the opposite position. And I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but it's over to, you see all the other switches are pushed to one side, and you have the 8 pushed to the other side. So that's set for 8 seconds. And this is set for both pumps the same way. Now we're going to go ahead and start popping. First thing you have your corn measure, and you have your sugar measure. You're going to need some lecithin oil, and we're going to start with the lecithin oil first. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and spray the kettle, the bottom of the kettle, and a little bit on the side, about 3 to 4 squirts. Fill up our sugar. Cup of corn. You always put the corn in first. Turn on your agitator. I'm going to go ahead and put the sugar in and press my oil pump. See your oil going in. Go ahead and shut your lid. In about 3 minutes you should have some popped corn. When the corn is done popping, what you do is you sprinkle the salt on afterwards. And you're supposed to use about one spoonful of salt, depending on your case, and just sprinkle it on the corn after. Alright, it may be kind of hard to hear me, but the corn is popping now. My indicator light is still on, and that's what I'm going to be watching. Okay, my indicator light just went off. And it's been under 30 seconds now, and I'm almost ready to dump the corn, so I know that my thermostat is adjusted properly. Okay, I don't hear any corn popping, so I'm going to go ahead and dump. I'm going to take the salt, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the corn. And I'm just going to mix it up. One more thing we want to cover on the thermostat is if you want to go back to salted corn, you would follow the same procedure. This time, instead of turning it clockwise, the thermostat, you're going to turn it counterclockwise to turn it back up, and then you're going to follow the same popping procedures that we just done with the sugar corn or the kettle corn. Watching the indicator light, make sure it shuts off 10 to 30 seconds before you're done popping. You want to again make sure you go back to your 32-ounce corn measures, and you have to set your oil back to the time that you had it set for before. We recommend 3-to-1 ratio on oil on regular popcorn, but everybody chooses to do it differently. So whatever your measurements may be, that's what you need to set it back to. I know things were a little bit confusing, so I want to go over and explain exactly what we're doing here again. This is the corn measure for the kettle corn, and this is the measure for the salted corn. Again, you're watching the pilot light the same way for both poppings. The reason you're turning down the temperature when you're cooking the kettle corn is because you have less volume of corn going into the kettle, so it'll pop faster at a lower temperature. With the salted corn, you need more power, or a higher temperature to pop the corn. But you're watching the pilot light the same way. The pilot light should go off both on the kettle corn and on the salted corn 10 to 20 seconds before you dump the kettle. And as you've seen there, it was shutting off about 19 seconds before we're ready to dump the kettle, and that's what you wanted to do. Same thing for the salted corn. You want it to shut off 10 to 30 seconds before you dump the kettle. I hope that explained everything. If not, you can call us here at Cretors, 1-800-228-1885, and you can ask for Shelly or someone in customer service, and they can help you out. Thank you.